Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a young boy named Aryan. This village, nestled in the heart of nature, was a place where the mountains seemed to touch the sky, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and earth. Aryan, with his curious eyes and adventurous spirit, often found himself gazing at the majestic peaks, wondering what lay beyond them. Every day he watched travelers struggle to climb a massive mountain path. These travelers, with their heavy backpacks and determined faces, were a constant source of fascination for Aryan. He observed their every move, noting the way they tackled the steep inclines and navigated the rocky terrain. Some gave up halfway, overwhelmed by the challenge. Their faces, etched with exhaustion and defeat, told stories of battles fought and lost. Aryan could see the toll the mountain took on them, both physically and mentally. Others, scarred and bruised, returned to the village defeated. Their bodies bore the marks of their struggle, and their spirits seemed crushed under the weight of their unfulfilled dreams. Aryan felt a pang of empathy for them, but also a spark of determination ignited within him. One day, Aryan decided to conquer the mountain himself. He stood at the base, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The mountain loomed large before him, a seemingly insurmountable challenge, but Aryan's resolve was unwavering. As he stood at the base, an old villager approached him. The villager, with his weathered face and wise eyes, had seen many like Aryan attempt the climb. He knew the mountain's secrets and the trials it posed. "Do you think you can climb this mountain, boy?" the man asked, laughing. "Even the strongest fail." His laughter was not mocking, but rather a reflection of the countless stories of failure he had witnessed. Aryan simply smiled and replied, "I will try." The journey was brutal. The path was steep and treacherous, and every step seemed to sap his strength. But Aryan's spirit remained unbroken. Every step felt heavier than the last. The weight of his own body seemed to double with each passing moment, and the air grew thinner, making it harder to breathe. Yet Aryan pressed on, driven by an inner fire. He slipped on sharp rocks, his hands bled, and the biting wind froze his resolve. The mountains seemed to throw every obstacle in his path, testing his willpower and endurance. But Aryan refused to give in. At one point he stumbled on a tiny pebble and fell flat. The fall was hard, and the pain shot through his body, but it was the frustration that hurt the most. Frustrated, he kicked the pebble, shouting, "Why does even the smallest thing get in my way?" His voice echoed through the mountains, a cry of anger and despair. A voice echoed in his mind, "It's not the mountain ahead, it's the pebble in your shoe that stops you." These words resonated deeply with Aryan, making him pause and reflect. Aryan paused. He looked down at the small pebble he had kicked and realized the truth. Every small step, every tiny obstacle, every minor discomfort, these were what made the climb feel impossible. It was a revelation that changed his perspective. Instead of focusing on the entire mountain, Aryan decided to focus on just the next step. He broke down the monumental task into manageable pieces, each step a victory in itself. He cleared pebbles from his path, steadied himself, and celebrated each tiny milestone. Each small achievement fueled his determination, and he began to see progress. Hours turned to days, and with every small victory, he grew stronger. His muscles adapted to the strain and his mind became sharper, more focused. Finally, he reached the summit. The view from the top was breathtaking, a panorama of the world below that made every hardship worthwhile. The villagers below watched in awe as he waved from the peak. Their cheers echoed up the mountain, a chorus of admiration and respect. When he returned, they asked him, "How did you do it?" Their eyes were wide with curiosity, eager to learn the secret of his success. Aryan replied with a smile, "The mountain didn't stop me. I stopped myself by fearing it. Once I focused on the next step, the mountain grew smaller. Every pebble counts," he said, his voice filled with the wisdom of his journey. "And every step, no matter how small, brings us closer to our summit." His words left a lasting impression on the villagers, inspiring them to face their own mountains, one step at a time.